Trump just announced its greatest deal with Iran. $25 billion later, let me put that in context. In 2015, Barack Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal, known as the JCPOA. 6 world powers sat at the table: the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Russia and China, plus the European Union and Iran itself. The agreement was specific. Iran agreed to reduce its centrifuges, cap its uranium enrichment, and accept the most comprehensive international weapons inspection the system ever negotiated. Furthermore, independent inspectors from the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, had the right to access any site in Iran, including suspicious sites, in some cases within 24 hours. While the deal was in place, it was working. The IAEA issued more than a dozen compliance reports between 2016 and 2018 and found no evidence of substantive Iranian violations. Then in 2018, Trump pulled out. Sanctions came back. European companies were forced to abandon their contracts overnight. American companies lost a market that has just reopened. Both sides paid the price. So let me figure this with some numbers. Boeing alone lost $20 billion in signed aircraft deals. Airbus lost another $20 billion. A French oil company abandoned a $5 billion contract. And who picked up those contracts? China. Both sides paid the price. China cashed the check. And Iran accelerated its uranium enrichment, pushed out the inspectors and moved closer to a nuclear weapon than at any point before the deal. By early 2024, Iran had enough material for 3 nuclear weapons. In 2025, the IAEA formally declared Iran non-compliant. The maximum pressure strategy had produced a more dangerous Iran with less international oversight and no inspectors on the ground. Then came the military response. You remember, June 2025, the United States launched Operation Midnight Hammer. Strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities cost over $2 billion. It was obliterated, I thought, but apparently that was not enough. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury. We all know that, a full military campaign targeting Iran's missile infrastructure, naval forces and nuclear program. The first 6 days cost American taxpayers at least $11 billion in munitions alone. That figure did not include operational costs or damage from Iranian counterattacks. Daily operations were running at nearly $60 million a day. As of roughly 60 days in, the Pentagon confirmed the total had reached $25 billion. Now let that number land for a moment. 3 school lunches for every American child costs around $11 billion a year. A program that was cancelled because Senate leadership called it too expensive. $25 billion would have paid for it for more than 2 years. The NIH, the agency that funds medical research across America, gave just under $20 billion to all American medical schools combined last year. $25 billion is more than that entire budget. That is the invoice paid by all American taxpayers, while school lunch programs were being cut for being too expensive. Let this sink in. Now Trump announces a deal with Iran. The temporary framework includes reopening the Strait of Hormuz and unfreezing Iranian assets held in foreign banks. Yeah, strange. Those were the core elements of the agreement that already existed in 2018. So, Europe will say, "We told you so." And they are not entirely wrong, but Europe also failed to keep the original deal alive without American participation. So Europe should ask itself what it actually did beyond issuing some statements. America needs to face a different question. What did 7 years of maximum pressure actually achieve? Let's wrap it up. Our advanced nuclear program advanced further than it ever had under the deal. 2 military operations were launched. $25 billion taxpayers' money was spent. 7 American service members were killed. And the deal on the table today looks remarkably like the one that was torn up in 2018. The details are still being confirmed. This may yet change, but if it holds, the conversation that follows should not just be political. It should be financial. $25 billion, a more advanced Iranian nuclear program, and a deal that looks like the one we already had. The greatest deal, 7 years later, $25 billion more expensive. The